Hello everyone, welcome back to the MAINcast. Here we are in week 2 of the SOS International Theater Fest. Calliope, can you tell us a little bit about the MAINcast and the SOS Theater Fest?
Yeah, so the SOS Theater Festival International is an 8-week online theater festival where all 8 of the shows come from countries from around the world. So we're really excited for that. And every Tuesday we have MAINcast where we talk to the cast members of the show. And then on Fridays we have the performance. They're usually at 7 p.m. PST like this week, but sometimes they're at different times. So be sure to look at the promos and the Facebook descriptions to find out what time the show is at. This week we have the cast and crew from Screwball, which is a show from Scotland.
And please keep in mind that these shows are always hosted by Calliope Wiseman and myself, Stephen Nyman. We're so excited to bring you another MAINcast and another show on Friday night. So please join us every Tuesday night and Friday night to the rest of the festival as we traverse the world together. Join us on our Around the World in less than 80 days trip through the many different countries of the world. And we're so excited to bring you quality entertainment in your home safely through the city of Santa Clarita. So after that point, can we have the cast of Screwball please arrive and we'll start the wonderful MAINcast. Hello.
Hello.
So my first question, as always, I ask you to please introduce yourselves, tell us what role you are in the show, and something exciting about the show that you're excited for. So we'll just go in order on my screen. So we'll go Rebecca, Michael, and then Jennifer can.
Okay, hi, I'm Rebecca. I play Marie Taylor in the show, and I've been quite lucky. I did a reading with Michael earlier on when it was in the very early stages, and I loved it even then. It's got a really good core concept and strong themes. And I think the characters are hilarious and they all just butt heads. Everyone's so different. So the energies are really great. It's fun to play. I really hope it's fun to watch. Yeah.
I am Michael. I'm the writer and I play Charlie in Screwball. Yeah, I think I've described it in the past as kind of an argument play. It's a lot of fiery words and debate, but also hopefully some heart and some level of humor. And I'm really excited to kind of share it with audiences outside of Scotland and see how people around the world react to some of the themes.
Jennifer, I'm playing Frankie Guest, and yeah, just super excited to get this play out there beyond Scotland. To be able to share this across the world is absolutely amazing. And also, as Michael said, it is a sort of discussion or argument play, so it would be amazing to hear how people react to it and what they think and what their point of view is about the piece, about some of the questions that it raises. So yeah, super excited to share it with all of you.
And we're so excited to meet all of you and to get to know you through this process. So Michael, can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration for the show? Like, were you drawing from any experiences from real life when you were writing it?
It came from, there's an Agnes Martin quote, the artist, who, I'm going to butcher the quote, but it's essentially, beauty is not within the art, the beauty is within you, and the art brings that out. And I thought that was a very nice sentiment, but then also it kind of implies that, okay, maybe the beauty is within you all the time, but then for a horrific painting, does that mean that the distress and the horror is within you all the time as well? And it just brings out that, but it's always there below the surface. And I thought that was kind of an interesting thought, maybe, and I thought it might be fun to have kind of two characters on either side of whether art is positive or negative or dark or healing and then I kind of wrote it and these guys brought it to life.
You all recently graduated from the Royal Conservatory of Scotland. How did your education prepare you for collaborating together in a new theater company and writing shows outside of school? I would like to hear that perspective of, just how does school take you to the professional world within especially now, with where we're at in lockdown and quarantine.
Well,
I'm sure Jen and sorry, you elaborate. I was just going to say
we were really lucky at the Conservatoire in that they really encouraged devising, and we actually had a new work festival in our second year where we all had to propose concepts for a play or a piece of performing art basically, and some of our proposals were accepted. Michael's was one that was accepted, and we then essentially all created within the year group different plays and productions, and that was really about a good half of our second year, as well as smaller devising projects. So I feel like the Conservatoire really prepared us to have some sort of power to create rather than just to wait for the phone to ring for someone to give us work. And I think, it's been great in that we've been able to work super closely together as well, so that, we're used to kind of failing and, and making mistakes and trying things out and being playful. And Mikey's obviously been very hard at work writing since we graduated, and it was just great to be able to again perform some of his work.
I would just add to that it was a really great place for building these relationships and having these safe spaces to try out ideas that were maybe a bit risky, or to be able to speak up and use your voice and say, you know what, I think maybe we should go in this direction, or what if we said this or that. So the three of us have been lucky to work on productions together of plays that other people have done and had outside directors, but also to collaborate on our own and have to start something from the ground up. And that was totally invaluable, especially this year where, the industry, there's not a lot happening. So what do you do with all that creativity that you have nowhere to really put? So it's been amazing getting to work on this play of Michael's. I really like Michael's writing. I think he's very talented. It's been great to have that connection already there and just get to play about with friends. And then it's even better when, there's a project like this that you can actually put to something like you guys. It's so exciting to be part of this festival.
I love the collaborative spirit that you all have, like not just through school, but after school as well. Like it's so important to keep those friendships and connections throughout. So are you guys planning on doing any more shows with this company, Glass Walls?
I think that we're quite lucky, our year group, as they said, that the school had a huge focus on creating and collaborating. I think it's a loose, like we've got these people, we've got friends in London, we've got friends in Glasgow and other countries that we're always looking to collaborate with and work with. And I think it's just about any opportunity to work with each other we take.
I would love to kind of get the audience a chance to get a perspective on what it's like in Scotland from a theater aspect. So what are the tiers of theater in Scotland, and is it really accessible to go watch a professional theater, or was it accessible, of course, pre-COVID? And how is Scotland's theater kind of compared to American theater in that sense? Because we have Broadway and then tourist shows, but that's about it.
I think I would say it was accessible. There's lots of funding available to take things to quite rural places in Scotland. They're keen on bringing shows up to those places. So like the Highlands and Islands can sometimes feel a bit remote, but big companies do go up there. There's a tiny island called Mull. They've got their own total state-of-the-art theatre, which is amazing, and work often goes there, which was popular before COVID and hopefully will be popular again. And yeah, some of the bigger companies here in Scotland and in Glasgow specifically will do certain deals. You can queue up and get a 50p ticket to their kind of main shows, which is great. And it's actually not far from me, which is great for me, get a wee 50p ticket. But yeah, like I would say it was fairly accessible in terms of actually putting on work or being in the work. But at the same time, it's quite a small industry. So a lot of the time people are friends and you kind of have to do the whole schmoozy and networking. I'm sure it's the same over in the US. So yeah, you've got to try and fight to get your foot in that door, but once you're in that door, it's quite a nice thing to be a part of.
Scotland's just definitely, by virtue of being a wee country, especially in theatre, kind of everyone knows everyone to an extent. You kind of, you know, through by second year of our drama school, we'd been introduced and been in front of all the big players and all that, which is good in some ways, but then in other ways, maybe, you know, it doesn't have the opportunity to branch out that America does, maybe.
And I think one great thing about Scotland as well is that we have the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, where people come from all over the country, all over the world to bring, you know, mostly new work. And that's amazing. So you can, you know, this goes on for, you know, a good month in the summer, and you can arrive in Edinburgh and actually spend an entire day. You know, you can either pick out the shows you want to see in advance and see an incredible array of things, or you can just walk down the Royal Mile and receive flyers to lots of different shows and lay them all out in front of you and just decide to go and see all sorts of different things. And a lot of it is free fringe as well. So you pay what you would like to contribute if you can on the way out. So you can see, you know, so many different types of theatre from people all over the world and see things that maybe you would never have thought to go to, but somebody has a great chat with you in Edinburgh and you're like, yes, I'm going to go see that. And it, you know, can inspire you in so many different ways. So yeah, we missed it last year. And we don't know if it's going to happen this year, but certainly, you know, we're very fortunate to have that. And it allows opportunities like this play that we're working on. You know, if the Fringe was going ahead, the Fringe would be like a great place to take it next, you know, to start playing it in front of many different audiences every day for a series of, you know, a month or whatever. And it helps with development of work as well. Yeah.
You were all talking about how it's more accessible out there. When you were pursuing theater, like at what age did you start getting involved in it? And you know, is it a more supportive environment? Sometimes in America, the arts are not practical to go into because they don't pay a lot. But it seems like the arts are more funded over there. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll go. I've been involved in kind of theatre stuff from the age of, I don't even know, so young. I was in pantomimes every year. I don't know if America has a pantomime. Yeah, I mean, it's the way theatres make money in Britain every year. There's a million pantos, and so I was doing those from a very young age. And yeah, I think there was always there was always encouragement, and it was kind of accepted. I think, yeah, I don't know, but I'm from Glasgow. I don't know if it was different up in the
I was away to say I'm from a bit more of a rural. I'm based in Glasgow now, but I'm from a bit more of a rural place, and there wasn't very much in terms of being able to get involved in a young age. My school was very small, so they could only put on the subjects that most people would take. So that's your sciences and maths, English. So it wasn't funded. We couldn't do drama as an advanced subject. I was quite lucky that when I was about 13, I think, somebody did set up a youth theatre, and it wasn't musicals because I've not got a great voice. I've not got a very confident singing voice. And it was straight plays, and it was, you know, Shakespeare's and Chekhov's, and I was like, this is what I want to do. So I was quite lucky to find that. And if I hadn't found that, I would have never heard about the RCS. I would have never pursued it further. So yeah, it's a bit different up north. And in terms of funded, it seems to ebb and flow, you know, like you'll see some years there'll be lots of productions, and then other years the big players will do co-pros and they'll run them for like 2 months, and it means if you're not in that co-pro, you're not going to work for either of those theatres for 2 months. So yeah, the funding thing can sometimes be an issue, I think, but hopefully, you know, they'll, after all this, they'll put a bit more effort into kind of smaller scale stuff, studio things, and new writing, fingers crossed. So
We were talking about Fringe Festival earlier, you know, Edinburgh, and the, you know, the impact that that has on, well, Europe and actually the world theater, the theatrical world as a whole. How, you know, opportunities in Fringe are always, I feel, you know, there's so many. I come from the LA Fringe Festival, where I feel we're nothing compared to the Edinburgh one, mind you. But you know, you can stay at one theater and watch, you know, 10 shows in one night if you're lucky. But what have been some of your most exciting opportunities at the Fringe Festival, or have you been able to take your theater on the road, or, you know, take your talent to other countries in the UK, either because of Fringe or because of the accessibility of just, oh, I'm going to go do a play in England just because, you know, I'm just going to hop in a car and drive there, or the availability to just do so much in the Europe area, compared to, you know, here in the States, where you're really kind of set in California and you have to fly to, if you want to do a play in New York, you are flying there. There's no way you're going to drive there in 2 days.
Yeah, Fringe is good for meeting people, because it's you know, that's the time if you want to make a London connection and you're in Scotland, there'll be people from London there. And I haven't had one of my plays been at the Fringe yet. That's on the bucket list. But I've been in a play that was in the Fringe. I was acting, and that was really cool. I mean, it's just cool to because it's Edinburgh and I'm Glasgow, and the train ticket is quite expensive to get there. So every Fringe, you know, every year I only go, you know, so many days, whereas that year I was there every single day, and I got to see, you know, as many plays as I wanted. That was really special. And then that show, yeah, I did get to tour around Scotland and England and kind of hit all the big cities and stuff, which was quite cool. I can't rightly remember a lot of it, but yeah, it was a cool thing to have done.
yeah, I think there can be opportunities to like you say, like go just pack up a car and go. Obviously quite a lot of that is reaching out to those venues and programming, making sure that they have space for you. Because that's the thing of like going to different places, you're not always going to be able to like promote that so much in that particular area. But like I said, there's quite a lot of like small pockets of funding so that you could bring your work like further up north. I'm sure there would be a similar thing in England. I don't have any experience of that personally. I did a play that toured all of the Highlands and Islands, which was one of my favourite experiences to date. I mean, I saw Skye, I saw Lewis, Harris. It was just stunning. And that was really special for me to see these communities coming out in one particular place. It's such a tiny place. I think there's only 1,000 people that live on this island. And we had like, I think it was like 200, 300 people come. So that's like most of the population coming to see you, which was a really, really cool thing. But yeah, like obviously things are a little bit tough right now in terms of going to Europe because Brexit. But before, it was a great thing, and it was something RCS had a really good connection with the European drama schools. And I was lucky enough to go to Italy twice actually with RCS to perform work that we'd made. And it was such a cool connection. And I really hope that that goes forward. But I mean, nobody really knows anything because everyone's so caught up in all the COVID stuff. We don't really know all the stuff about Brexit. And it's like, yeah, so hopefully.
Yeah.
It used to be, of course, that you could travel without, with being part of the EU, you could travel to any of the other EU countries and work in the EU countries as a performer, and that was no problem at all. Whereas now there's all the discussions about, needing visas, and, performers are not yet exempt from needing a visa. So there's lots of discussions going on about different rights and regulations and potential changes and differences going forwards as far as, performers being able to travel and work within the EU. So yeah, a lot of that going on at the moment as well. Yeah.
So you were talking about in your fun facts that you sent us that you love going to a pub after the show. What is your favorite or some of your favorite pubs to go to after a show?
Oh, Michael.
Well, Jackson's. I've got to give a shout out to Jackson's Doghouse. It was kind of at our school. It was our local, and it was just down the street from me. So it's it really is part of the experience. I imagine it's the same in America. Maybe going to a bar afterwards or whatever, but maybe I don't know. There's something special at a pub. And,
we go to a Denny's. I'll be
oh really
honest.
not quite the same, maybe.
No.
Well, to be fair, the Americans in our class, they were the first ones in the pub.
Listen,
they loved it.
Absolutely.
They loved the pub culture.
Yeah.
It's but it'd be good. I mean, even sometimes after an intense, grueling class, me and Rebecca would, the two of us go to the pub afterwards just to kind of detoxify.
Mm-hmm. It was just it's good to sort of go there and just sort of discuss everything that happened and kind of break it all down and be like, what was that about and what was this? And yeah, I feel like you need it sometimes. You need the post pub discussion.
There's also great theatre bars here as well. A lot of the Scottish theatres, they have really great bars, and you finish seeing the show and you just hang around and all the performers come out and they have their drinks and you can chat with them and the directors. And yeah, because it's quite a small community as well, everyone's happy to have a chat. So some really good theatre bars. The Traverse Theatre in Edinburgh, which is the Theatre of New Writing, it has a great bar with a really lovely atmosphere, and you'll always find interesting people to talk to there. So I'd highly recommend that in Edinburgh as well.
I think that's a really great place to end it. So we will highly encourage you to go watch Screwball on Friday night at 7 p.m. Thank you for watching the MAINcast on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Your local podcast for theater here in Santa Clarita. So we encourage you to keep joining us every Tuesday for the MAINcast, and we are going to keep traversing the world together. If you have a chance, once COVID is over and everything is back to normal, go to Edinburgh. Maybe you'll see Michael, Rebecca, and Jennifer on stage, or you'll see one of Michael's works at the Fringe Festival, and maybe join them at the pub after. So thank you so much for your conversation. Thank you to you, the audience, who've been here through us all. Keep traveling the world with us. Calliope, do you have any closing sentiments that you would like to say?
Yeah, thank the three of you so much for being here and for talking with us and for joining us in this festival. It's so lovely to meet with you. And don't forget to see Screwball this Friday, 7 p.m. PST. That's 3 a.m. GMT, I believe. So it's pretty late, but don't worry, it will be on Facebook Live because it'll be streaming all weekend. So you can watch it on Facebook Live at the main New Hall, and it'll be available till about Monday.
And I highly encourage you to watch our other shows, not only the shows in the SOS Theater Festival, but please watch our 10 by 10, our food sessions, and our New Heights conversation, where we discuss many aspects of art, from visual art all the way to performing art. So please look us up at facebook.com/themainNewHall for all of our events. We are always giving back to the Santa Clarita community and now to the world community. So thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we'll see you on Friday night.